steps on to how to set up your OneNote notebooks for a new class. It's quite a long process, so settle down for the ride. It is well worth it, however, for at least a semester, if not the year. Once you've got it set up, it's really quite easy. There's a number of ways to do it, and I'll just take you through the process that I think is most efficient. Okay, so first of all, we obviously go to OneNote. If you're not that familiar with OneNote, you're still getting started, don't forget that in our 21st Century Educators blog, or our staff blog, there's a link to the staff blog on our day map pages. It will take you here. Under Tech Tube corner, you can go to Keeping Digital Notes OneNote, and there should be a whole bunch of resources there to help you get started. Right, little video that introduces it there, and then these links are actually quite handy. You'll find that increasingly the kids in your classes are familiar with OneNote, and they can certainly also help you out. I think the easiest way to do it is to set up a brand new book on your computer first, and then put that out to the students. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go File, New, and I'm going to put this book on my computer. We can put books on day map straight away or other locations, but for now we're just going to go on the computer, and I'll call this book Staff OneNote Demo, and I'll call it Master because I have a master book for every subject, and it distinguishes it from the student books. And when I create new activities, I do it in the master first, and then I copy it to the student books. I've got that, and it will create the book. It'll set it, and it'll save it by default in my documents in a folder called OneNote Notebooks. We'll show you that in a minute, a little bit later on, and when we move it. But we'll just leave it there for now. If I scroll down to the bottom of all my books, there you can see is the name of the book. It's got no sections or anything in it yet. So what I might rename this first section and call it Course Overview. I typically do this. Have a section where all the relevant course information is. I might stick the links to the study design there, or a calendar, or the class blog. For example, if I was to go to the health overview, you can see here got overview of what each outcome's about. Right, some draft docs, also a bit of a mind map that we did together, and so forth. Also here I've got just an example of a general Head Start activity that I did, outlines what we did in each lesson, some links they needed, big questions that got them started, right, and also some general resources. So I might just copy a couple of pages just to use these as a demo. Just holding Control down to select a few different ones, and then I will go copy. I'm going to go to my new book, and I'm going to put them in Course Overview section. Right click and delete the original page. So far I've got this activity introduction page. Got an activity that we're going to spend the first 2 lessons on, including some links to some polls that students are going to have to take, which don't exist anymore because I deleted them, sorry, and an overall summary worksheet that they're going to have to complete by the end of the Head Start program. Could of course call this Head Start, but this is actually a good introduction to the course, so I think Course Overview is appropriate. Might even start setting up the first unit. And the first area of study we would do, say for example, if I was to stick with the Year 11 health theme, we'll be looking at Australia's health. Alright, and again I might throw some pages in there to start. Doesn't really matter what we put in there at this stage, it's really just creating a shell, you know, and probably worth starting a place to dump all your resources. If I was to, for example, just have a look at what some of these resources might look like. There's some resources to videos, some other ones. So think about how you're going to present your resources. Probably the most common way I would do it. Not close my Year 12 health, have I? Not quite. course, if I did have a learners page, a board for my class, I'll put it in this resources page. So from then on, I used to scoop it for this class. They can just go to that all the time. If I add links to it, there it is. Right, so I've got a bit of a shell now of the book that I'm going to start with my class. I go into my Windows Explorer and I go to my documents and I see OneNote notebooks. You can see here I've got a bunch of books and each book is in a folder of its own. This book is in the staff OneNote Demo Master folder, as you can see there. If I click on it, you can see there's one file, it's a .1 file for each chapter or each section of the book, and one file that says Open Notebook. So what I really want to do is I want to paste this folder into each student's K drive. Right? Now in order to do that, I need to go to the students directory. Now I don't have students listed in my, or do I on the network here? I don't have students listed as my drive, so I need to go to the link first. Luckily, in the staff general book, there is a link. If it doesn't appear, it should appear automatically. I go into the staff general minutes book. Resources there and links, and I go to general links. I can see there's a link to the student drives. So I was going to make this for year 11 students. Actually make it for year 12 because they're gone and I can delete. There they all are. So I now need to dump that folder in each of their drives. I'm just going to minimize that window a little bit, and I'm going to bring up my class role so I know which folders I need to put it in. I'm just going to keep that there. In my browser, I'm going to go to Daymap. And I'm going to bring out the role for that class, which is no longer there anymore because they're finished. Let's say it was a year 11 class. Alright, so there they are. So it was that group of students. Alright, and I'll minimize that window. So basically now I've got my students and my K drives. I'm going to go to the year 11. Right, there they are. Now, the first student is BRI 0016, so I'll go down to BRI 0016. There he is. See, he's already got his health folder, and I'm going to paste that folder that I copied before into there. So now he's got the staff OneNote Demo Master book in his K drive. Obviously that's not, I'm gonna need to rename it because each book will have the same name otherwise, so I'm just gonna call this not Master but Brendan. Alright. While I'm there, I'm going to quickly create a shortcut. Now what that'll do is if I ever lose his OneNote notebook, I've got a quick link to his book. And I'm going to copy that shortcut and I'm going to paste it somewhere on my computer so I can get a quick link to his book. So for now I'm just going to I'll open that in another window if we can cope with 3. So I'm in my documents and I'm going to make a new folder in my documents called, this will be Health Class 2014, Year 11, whatever you want to call it. I'm just going to paste that shortcut there. Alright, so that's Brendan's book. Just go back to Brendan's book. Now before I leave this, so he's set up right, he can go in there, he can open that book, he just has to go into the folder and click on this Open Notebook. I'm going to do the same because I want to have his book open on my computer as well. So I'm going to click on that. Slowly opening, and you can see now down here, I've got Staff OneNote Demo Book. Probably a long name, but there it is, called for Brendan. Okay, so now I need to repeat that process for all the students in my class. It does take a while the first time, but like I said, well worth it. So let's do the next student. Sorry, I hope you can cope with the fact I've got 3 windows open. I've got my student K drives, I've got my own folder with all the student shortcuts, and I've got my role. Alright, there it is. So the next student I need to get is Chloe Carstairs, CAR0012. Going back up, year 11, going to CAR00, there she is, and I'm going to paste that book in there. Which unfortunately I have got a copy again. A copy. Carstairs, where'd she go? CAR, there she is, and paste that there. Rename it. Chloe. Create a shortcut. And dump it on my computer, that shortcut, to her folder. Alright, go in there and open the book. I now have Brendan and Chloe. Let's go again. Next student, Nybura. Alright, so going back up to year 11, I go to Guy, G-A-I, paste the folder, or paste the book rather, rename it, nickname in my class, then I create a shortcut, and I drag the shortcut into my folder, make sure I go in there and open the notebook, and now I've got 3 books. Alright, keep it rolling. Camille, George, G-E-O, there she is. Control V to paste the book. Rename it. Create a shortcut. Put it in my folder. Open it. Oh, I'm in the wrong one. Went into a health book or a current health book. There it is. Open it. And now I have Camille. Alright. If ever over years you have too many books and you want to get rid of some, for example, I've shut most of my year 12s down already. I still was working with these guys to the end. So I might now close this notebook. Still will be on their K drive, so I can bring them back up if I need to, but won't take up too much space if I don't need them. So now they've all got a copy of the book. Of course, what they how they work on there from now on will be different. Sync these books. There you can see, and I will be able to see their work. Now, say for example, I get my netbook or my laptop re-imaged, or I set up OneNote again, and all these books will be gone. That is why I have made myself this folder here in my documents with all my students' shortcuts in it. Obviously, when I finish the process, I probably have around 20 students there. I can very quickly go into each folder and click on Open Notebook. It's already open, so it won't matter. Alright, and then I can go back, go to the next one, and open Notebook. And in probably about 4 or 5 minutes, I can bring my whole class back. That's handy. Alright. Also, if, for example, I was to create a whole new section, and I'll go to my master, and I'll make a new section. The second chapter we might be looking at is nutrition. It's not, but so it is. Alright, and I have nutrient reference values, whatever. And I put a whole bunch of space on. Over the course of a week, maybe I'm making the next unit that they're going to work on, and I want to put that into their books. Now, there's a number of ways to do it. I can right click here, and I can go move a copy, and I can go create a copy, and go to their books. Okay, I'm going to put this in Brendan and hit copy. Alright, and then I can repeat that process and dump it in each one. It's not too bad, probably takes a little bit of time. The alternative is I can go to my OneNote notebooks, go back in there. I've now got another section called nutrition, and I can just copy that section. I then go to my shortcut folder, which gives you my help, and there it is. And I can very quickly just paste that chapter into each one. So then go into the next one, and there it goes. It just pastes that chapter into each of their books. Alright, he's already got it because I showed him in the demo before. Alright, now if I go back to their OneNote notebooks, and I just refresh them, so I right click and sync this notebook now, I see that the nutrition section that I made is in each of the books. So that's a quick way to do it. To copy pages is really simple. Say I make a new page in one particular book. Whoops, he's on a roll. Alright, so I might go insert, print out, what will I put in there as a demo? Might go to some health stuff. Inserting a file as a printout, might just insert it as an attachment. It's quite a big file, probably shouldn't have picked one that was so large. So now I've got that revision sheet, whatever, or the question sheet pasted in their book, and maybe I want to share that with everyone. I can just right click and go copy, and then I can quite quickly, I do this often, once you get the hang of it, it's just pasted in each of their sections. I'm hitting Control V here to just paste that sheet in each of their books. Alright, she already had it. Alright, so there you have it. I can also look at the sections here, can move the stuff around. As you become more familiar with OneNote, I think that becomes more and more handy. Of course, one of the best functions of this is I can have just a general links page in any of the chapters, and when we find stuff I can just, to say that's a link that I want to share, I can just copy the link and paste it in their book. Now I could either copy that, if they already had a links page. I often like to put my links in a table. sync their books, they'll be fine. They will have to sync their K drives at the start of every lesson and make sure that their book's up to date. Similarly, they should probably do it at the end of the lesson so you get their latest work if you want them to have a look at it at home. And don't forget that if they've done some work in their books will go this bold shade, which means there's stuff in there that I haven't seen. So if I was to go to Taru's book, I can see that these are the sections he's worked on that I haven't seen because they're bold. And if I was to go into the assignment, he's done his little reflection, it's shaded so I can see that I haven't read that yet. I might go in there and just have a little bit of a look. Yeah, and maybe make some comments. Get the idea. I obviously use this a lot when I'm marking students' work. So I'll have a unit summary page right at the end of the term. So we're working through these. She started with Head Start, then we went to chapter 1, then we went through these different chapters throughout the year. It's got and at the end I do a summary page for each unit. I tend to paste a screenshot of her outcomes. That one she passed straight away. This one she had a little bit of work to do to pass, which was this one here. Yeah. Then that was her SAC that she did. Yeah. You can see my feedback, my scroll. Probably no need to digitally or by pen. Pretty bad either way. Right, even got some screenshots there about what she should have included. Some from her work, some from the textbook. You can see there how I've used that. Yeah, and then her criteria sheet. Yep, and similarly for the other outcomes and her overall. Alright, I hope that gives you a bit of an insight on how to create students' books for the year. Like I said, it probably will take you close to an hour maybe to set it up for the first time for your class. Once you get used to the process, I think I can set a class up in probably about 20 to 30 minutes. Once you've got that class set up, then we can use it for the entire year, and very handy. Alright, good luck with it. I'll also put out a cheat sheet for this, and yeah, yell out if you need